Good morning. So we're just going to start. First of all, I'm just going to explain. It's very wet and soggy outside, and my decking is very slippery, so I'm going to have to find a solution for that. It's like skating on ice. So here I am in my wagon. My setup is a little janky, but we'll see how we get on. The camera is on like an extended arm, and so the van moves a lot, and then that moves a lot, so it might feel a little bit like we are. Let me just see it. Please make sure to stop. Okay. Might feel like we're on a boat. So I'll try to be as gentle as possible. Okie dokes. First of all, let's just make this screen full size. Can I do that? Full screen. Okay, apparently not. Alright, still figuring out the tech stuff. So I know you can't see my feet. Alright, I'll tell you what, I'll see if I can make you see my feet. There we go. And just starting with the ankles. Starting with the toes. So I'll take my socks off. And we'll start lifting the big toes up. So planting the feet fully on the ground. And we'll lift just the big toes, squeezing the other toes down. And then we're going to lower those, and we're going to lift all the other toes. And then lift the big toes. And lift all the other toes. And then we're just going to swap. 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 And if you really can't lift, if you can't isolate your big toes, then you can place your fingers on here and start getting that message to the body. So you put your finger, you hold down your big toes and lift the other toes, and then hold down your other toes and lift the big toes, and that will start to send that message to your body. Keeping a nice bend in the knees, keeping the pelvis tucked under slightly. And just toe swaps. When you're lifting up the small toes, see if you can spread them out. And just notice if you want to rock inwards or outwards, and try to limit that, so that your ankles are staying pretty steady. We're not doing lots of stuff with our bodies. Alright, cool. Moving up into the ankles. Just rolling from one side and then the other. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm just rolling. And driving it with the feet. Like pushing the feet into the ground to create the movement. Twisting the feet. Keeping the knees bent and not holding the breath. Keep breathing. This can't be helped, unfortunately. There we go, that's a bit better, isn't it? Okay, and now we're going to rock forwards and backwards, so coming up onto the balls and then onto the heels. And you can use the arms as counterweights here. You're just keeping the knees pointing in the same direction as the toes. not allowing the knees to sort of travel inwards of the toe or outwards. And making sure like the 3 points of contact, so you've got your heel behind your big toe and behind your little toe. Well, when you're rocking forward, make sure both the bit behind the little toe and the big toe are touching the ground. You're not favouring one side or the other. And we do that by keeping those knees travelling towards the toes. And when you're coming back, allow the knee to press into the heel, downwards. Nice. All right, now we're going to bring those two movements together. We're going to roll onto the heels, roll onto the side, up onto the balls, side, heels. We're going to go in circles and just using the arms as necessary to balance the weight. I'm going to move over here a little bit so I can be free to move around in my very confined space. Alright, and reverse direction. And just up onto the balls, over to the side, onto the heels, over to the side again, and up onto the balls. And you could slow it down or speed it up as you feel like you need. Letting the toes be active, letting the ankles be active, and even the abs be a little bit active. Pelvic floor, lifting the pelvic floor. Nice. Alright. We'll just do some bounces, so just coming up a little bit onto the ball of the foot and just bouncing a little bit, bounce, 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 bounce. Keeping a nice soft bend in the knees, tailbone tucked under, pelvic floor activated, lower abs activated, and just bouncing on those heels. Tucking the chin a little bit. Imagine the head is being pulled up by strings. And letting the shoulders just be loose, letting the scapula slide up and down the spine. Nice. Nice. Okie dokes. Whew. So, feet should be nice and awake now, ankles should be nice and awake. Let's move up into the knees a little bit now. So let's see, let's move up here. So we've got our knees. We're just gonna bend the knees and then straighten them and with a long spine. So bending the knees and then straightening them, stretching the backs of the knees. Whatever feels comfortable. You could be up here. If you're up here, that's okay. Whatever feels good, but yeah, try to have your hands just above your knees, and you can put your weight into them, your upper body weight into that, and then you straighten them as much as is comfortable for you. Keeping the pelvis as if you had headlights on your butt, just keeping them slightly pointing upwards to help accentuate the stretch in the hamstrings. Alright, and then we're going to take that from side to side. So allowing the head to travel in the opposite direction of the knees. Maintaining contact with those 3 points on each foot, the little tripod on the bottom of the foot. Noticing if they want to, roll in or roll out, try to keep them nice and planted down, like the whole foot is in contact. Even lifting up the arch a little bit, like a diaphragm. Active pelvic floor, active abs. Breathing. Okay, now both of those bring both of those together. So coming forward, side, back, stretch those hamstrings, and then side, forward, back. Nice. Go at your own pace. And reverse direction. Allowing that head to be a counterweight when you're leaning this way. Head and knees in the opposite direction. Head and torso in the opposite direction too. Really exploring that extended position. Stretching those hamstrings, maybe slowing down on that bit. Seeing what the body wants. Staying away from any sharp sensations. Just finding what feels good. Nice. All right, bringing our awareness up into the hips. Where's my water? One second, I need to get some water. Oh, it's right in front of me. Okie dokes. And starting with the hips, starting to bring our consciousness into the hips a little bit. We're just going to do some pelvic rocks. So tucking the tailbone under and then extending. And then do a few of those. And we'll bring the breath in. So just to show you. So imagine closing the angle. So you've got these bottom ribs here and you've got the pelvis here. And we're going to close that angle at the front, bringing that pocket up towards the ribs. And then we're going to bring our back pocket up towards our shoulder blades. Bringing the breath in, so inhaling as we bring the back pocket up to the shoulder blades and the shoulder blades down to the back pocket. And then exhaling, closing the front pocket with the bottom ribs. Keep going. And now bringing that into a forward bend. So sliding the hands down the knees, finding a comfortable position and continuing. really be aware of how we're opening, how we're closing this angle, closing the front pocket with the bottom ribs and bringing the back pockets and the scapula together. If you need a little bend in your knees, that's fine. Okay, coming up. And leaning back a little bit. So just leaning back, sending the hips forward. And carrying on with the same movement. Really isolating the hips from the rib cage. Going at your own pace, really finding that end range. Relaxing the jaw. And breathing. Right. Taking that into the frontal plane. So we're going to shift the weight onto one hip, onto one leg, and we're going to keep a bend in the non-weighted leg. We're going to straighten the standing leg. We're going to hike that hip and close the angle between the armpit and the hip. I'm going to do some of these. Coming almost onto the other foot between reps. So I'm reaching down. I could even open the shoulder by twisting the hand backwards and reaching down, trying to keep in line as well. Nice. Shifting over to the other foot. So hiking that hip up, so my hips are hiking up and my armpit is going down. I'm shifting the pelvis on and off of this leg. Inhaling. You can try the breath both ways. You can inhale when you open the shoulder, or you can inhale when you close the shoulder and open the hip. I suggest getting familiar with both. Either way, breathe. Okay. And now we're just going to take those two movements and we're going to bring it into a circle. And bringing the arms in as much as you feel. So I'm So I'm closing the front, shifting over, and then so I'm just exploring the hips really. Just find freedom in your hips. In a circular, whatever a circle is to you. Just isolating those ribs. The ribs have a tendency to get involved, so see if we can just isolate the hips from the ribs and reverse in direction. Active pelvic floor, active lower abdominals. Really exploring a circle, as close to a circle as you can. Active feet. Nice. Alright, just coming up into the torso and the spine. So we've woken up the lower part of the spine, lower back and the hips. And so we're just going to open up the thoracic area and the sort of diaphragm. So just do some nice gentle opening and closing. Don't force anything. Just let it open naturally. We'll do a few of these. I'm just standing at the moment, just standing about shoulder width apart, the feet. Using the breath to invite more opening in the chest and diaphragm. Maybe gripping with the toes just a little bit as we open up to balance the upper and lower. And just noticing the relationship between the torso and the pelvis. When one goes forward, the other goes back. And the head and the pelvis are going forward when the torso is going back, and vice versa. Okay. Nice. Take a nice deep breath. We'll go side to side now. So we're just sort of like isolating the rib cage from the pelvis. We're just going to shift side, 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 side. Active feet, active pelvic floor, active lower abs. Trying to keep the shoulders level-ish. A little bend in the knees. Maybe speeding it up a little bit. I place my hand on my chest just so I can locate that and feel the difference between that and the pelvis. And then bringing that into a circle. Just noticing what has to happen in the pelvis to maintain stability. So stabilizing the pelvis and letting the torso be free as it can be in relation to the pelvis, without swinging the pelvis around. I'm not swinging the pelvis around. I'm like letting that be stable and seeing how much freedom I can find within that limitation. And reverse direction. Relaxing the jaw. Okay, nice. Just enjoying that freedom. Maybe just having a little play around, a little bit of a exploration, freestyle for a moment. Just feeling what you feel. Allow the hips to move as much as they want to move. Just enjoying that, moving to the music. And then bringing our attention to the head. I'll tell you what, no, we'll do something with the shoulders first. So just do some nice shoulder rotations like this, shoulder rolls. Maintaining contact with the ground, keeping the consciousness, the awareness in the feet as well. Really allowing the shoulder movement to come from the feet and reverse direction. Where does the pelvis need to be to maintain contact with the feet so that these shoulder movements become a foot movement? And just placing the hand on the chest. How should we do this? Go into a little bit of a lunge. I don't know if I've got the space for this, but just go into a lunge and then do some, that's it, yeah, nice, and some shoulder circles, shoulder cars. Not too strict, I'm not like rigidly staying in position, I'm allowing my torso to open up a little bit. And reverse direction. Alright, and swapping sides. And the arm that's moving is the opposite to the front leg. So my front leg is my right leg at the moment, and I'm moving my left arm. And just, again, movements coming from the feet, or it's connected to the feet, grounded in the feet, and reverse direction. Nice. We'll just do some little rotations. So placing the hands on the shoulders and inhaling to the left and exhaling to the right. Keeping a nice strong abs and pelvic floor, nice and active. We're just going to do inhale to the left, exhale to the right. Speeding it up a little bit. And slowing it down. All right, coming to rest. Shake it out, shake the shoulders, shake the wrists, shake the knees, shake the ankles. Moving up into the head, and we're just going to look to the left and look to the right. Left, right, inhale, exhale. And then speeding it up a little bit, staying in a comfortable range. Allowing the eyes to lead, so darting the eyes left and right. Breathing naturally. Speed it up. And then slowing down. And resting. Dropping the ear to the shoulder. Inhale to come up and drop to the other side. Noticing any popping. Which is fine, as long as it feels like a sense of relief. And then bring that into some circles. And reverse direction. Nice. Taking a few deep breaths. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. On the top of the inhale, so filling up the belly, then the chest, and then the head at the top. Lifting the shoulders. And then dropping everything into the feet, relaxing the ankles. Belly, chest, head, lifting the shoulders. And dropping everything into the soles of the feet, feeling the feet tingling as we exhale, squeezing the air out of our lower abdominals. One more. And exhaling. So now we'll just do a little bit of balance. So let's see. How much do you need to see? So shifting the weight over onto the left foot. And lifting the right foot. And when you lift the right foot, feel like the weight of the right leg is draining into the left leg. Think of it either like water pouring through, like the pelvis is like a bowl, and the water pours into the left foot. Or sand, you could think of it like an hourglass and sand. And that left foot, we've just done a lot of work to wake up all these joints. So that left foot is active, but the ankle is relaxed. So how can you relax the ankle and get that sense of pouring? Even the upper body, even the arms, if you want to lift the arms, imagine them pouring sand down into the bottom of that foot through a relaxed ankle. If the ankle's tense, the sand won't move, the water won't move. And so what has to happen in the pelvis to allow for a relaxed ankle whilst balancing? Can we move the pelvis until we can find that relationship where we can get that sense of draining down into a relaxed ankle, and the foot is active, the foot is very engaged, the arch should naturally pull up like a diaphragm, like the pelvic floor and like the diaphragm in your rib cage. Just breathe into that pouring sensation, draining sensation. And relax that for a moment. Shake out the hips, shake out the foot. Just, if you need to grab hold of something, grab hold of something, but if you don't, then just like do your side to side. So this one, my foot is going side to side like that, and the hip socket is rotating. I'm rotating in the hip socket. So it's a funny movement, and it's really hard to get in the beginning for a lot of people, but you will get it. And if you can't, then just shake the meat on the bone here, just to release all the tension in the hip there from that exploration. Okay, shifting the weight onto the other ankle. Again, keeping a soft bend in the knee as we lift up the other foot, and then finding the pelvis position over the ankle so that we can relax that ankle and drain everything into that foot, even into the ground. Imagine there's a ball about the size of a basketball underneath the ground, and you're pouring the weight of the leg, the arms, the chest into that ball through the foot and through a relaxed ankle. And maybe even begin to move around, see if there's any more that needs pouring out from different angles. Maybe send the foot behind you a little bit. What needs to happen in the pelvic floor? What needs to happen in the lower abs? What needs to happen in the hip socket? What needs to happen in the torso so that we can find that effortless position over the foot? And relax that for a moment. Shake it out. And then side to side. Side to side. Side to side. Shaking that hip socket. Rotating that hip socket. Nice. Okay, now we're going to go onto the other foot again. And we're just going to, if you've got some objects, objects would be handy right now. Jenga blocks are good. I'm still unpacking, so I don't know where they are at the moment. But spoons, forks, anything like that would be good. And we're just going to bring the weight onto the first foot we did, which is the left foot for me. And if you were following me, it would have been your left foot. We're going to take one of these objects. So left foot will be left hand. And we're going to come down. We're going to hinge at the hip. So we've got that draining sense going on. Relaxed ankle, active pelvic floor. Then we're going to slowly come down. We're going to place an object on the floor as far away as we can from the body at 12 o'clock-ish. And then we're going to come down to the left and we're going to place an object down outside the foot as far away as we can. And then we're going to, always with the left hand, and then we're going to cross the body. We're going to place it as far away from the body as we can over there. Now, obviously, I'm cheating because I don't have to go down as low. Let's see, maybe I can do it this way. Oh, yeah. Okay, and now, the fun bit, we get to pick them back up again. The joys of a confined space. And the idea is that we don't use momentum. So we try to move down, and especially coming back up again. We try to come up without using momentum. So if that means placing it closer to the body, that's fine. And pick up the last object. Nice. Whew. Feeling the burn. Haven't done these in a while. Nice. All right. Other foot. Right foot planted. Right hand holding object. Whew. Placing the object at 12 o'clock. As far away as you can without having to use momentum to get back up. I'm going to have to move over a little bit. And then right hand down as far away as you can. And then this one, crossing the body, tricky one, but it looks cool. And then we pick them back up again in whichever order you want. I like to do reverse order. Ooh. And it's okay to stumble. It's okay to fall and stumble. That's the edge of your comfort zone, and that's where you do the most learning. So invite that and welcome it when it does come. Cool. All right, shake that out. That's just a quick little bit of balance. So you should be feeling a lot in your body right now. You should be awake and aware, feeling all the different body parts. So I just wanted to round the class off by take a deep breath. Come into the body. Feel the body. Feel the floor. Relaxing the ankles. Dropping the pelvis onto the feet. So just finding a floating pelvis. Imagine there's an anchor hanging off your tailbone between your feet below the ground, pulling you towards your feet. And so just play around with like forward and backwards until you find that sort of sweet spot. We're never locked in. We're always sort of floating. We're always, it's always in flux. It's always slightly dynamic. And so there's never ever a point where we go, okay, that's it, I got it. No, it's just always in a relationship. Life is about relationship. And so next one, once you've found a nice little relationship with the ground and the pelvis, then moving the attention up into the rib cage and finding relationship between the rib cage and the pelvis and the ground, or the feet and the ground. And so again, we're just sort of maybe playing around side to side, forwards and backwards a little bit, gently, remembering all the movements we did earlier. And we're not looking for perfection, we're just looking for relationships and improving relationships. And then bringing the attention up into the center of the head. So you've got these three centers. You've got the center of the head, the center of the ribcage, the center of the pelvis, relating to the bottoms of the feet, relating to the earth. And maybe tuck the chin, see how that feels. Maybe do a couple of little circles to see what the head likes to do in relation to the ribcage. And then dropping all of that, so we quite like tense like that, and now just drop it. See if you can drop all that weight into the feet and find that effortlessness. Now, from this relaxed place, I invite you to conjure up a sense of worry. What does worry look like? Allow worry to show up in your body. Find something to worry about or something you are worried about, and just watch the body. What happens in the body when you conjure up the emotion worry? What do the shoulders do? What does the spine do? What does the forehead do? What does the jaw do? What happens to your connection with the ground? Now, I invite you to open your arms, raise your eyebrows, open your mouth like a surprise face. And now, maintaining that face and this posture, bring back worry. Is it possible? Can you worry and be surprised or joyful? Can you maintain the posture of worry when you're being joyful or being delightful? Something to consider. Now conjure up, now relax again, relax all of that, drop all of that. And bring up anger. What does anger look like in the body? Right, what do you have to tense to find anger? What noises do the body want to make? My body wants to grumble and groan. My wrists want to tense, my fists want to tense. Okay, now drop that. And now conjure up a sense of relief. What does relief feel like? How does that show up in the body? Like everything's sorted, everything's completed, like nothing to worry about. The thing I was worried about is now resolved and it's already done. How does that feel? Relief. Can you conjure up relief? Even for a second? Feel that. What do your shoulders feel like? What does your diaphragm feel like? What does your solar plexus feel like? What does your head feel like? Your jaw? Relief. What sounds does your body want to make? I want to sigh. Yeah. Everything's okay. So, why are we doing this? Well, I want to show you that you're in charge of how you feel. But not only that how you feel determines how you be, what you are, and how that shows up in the body. And so essentially who you are is expressed through the body. Who you are internally, how you hold yourself in relation to life, to self, to other, to the universe, to God, whatever. How you relate to that internally is who you are, and you can be you are choosing to be that, and you can make another choice. And just by conjuring up relief, a sense of relief, and cultivating a sense of relief, a sense of joy, we be that. We are that. And we can place attention on those emotions and cultivate them and pivot. And the more we relate to those emotions, the more we can pivot to them when we are telling ourselves a and disempowering story, or living by a disempowering narrative, we can find an empowering one. And it is as simple as creating the emotion and being that. So on that note, we're done. Thank you for joining me, and happy exploring your feelings, and happy journey with exploring these feeling states and emotions and making different choices in your life. And yeah, wishing you a beautiful day.